Hello, Jacksonites. Long. I don't know why. So, spoilers. I'm doing this on my phone. Um, I really wish I didn't have to do it like this, but hey, new background. As you can see, this is my new home. And I still have not gotten a haircut, nor will I be getting a haircut. This isn't going to be a very long video. This is just me here to announce that I moved again, and I moved into my new permanent home. I finally, after almost 5 years to the day, I was literally a month away or so from living in my old apartment for 5 years. Or, well, no, technically I was more than a month away. But after 5 years almost of trying to get into a 2-bedroom apartment, I finally have succeeded at that. And it's been glorious. It's been a very kind of stressful and annoying and frustrating process to get moved. But well, I'm not 100% unpacked. Mostly it's me and Meadow's bedroom that needs to be worked on. For the most part, obviously, I've gotten my own area. Sorry if I keep stuttering and pausing. I'm still like adjusting to the shock and surrealness of actually finally having a larger place to live in, and I've wanted it for so long. So, so I'm a little bit not like what's that term? Starstruck. Although I think that is a more apt description because, yeah, I've never ever lived in a place this big before that I could call my own. I've either lived with family or I had that 1 bedroom for almost 5 years. But other than that, now that this is very new, this is a very new experience for myself, and I love it. I wish I got it. I am not a pimp, boy. But hello to all these viewers. Oh my. JJK reference? What's that? I have no clue what that is. Anyway, I totally lost track. So you can tell from the title of this video that I'm here to do a bit of a channel update, but it's not exactly like an update necessarily, but it's more just like me trying to lay down plans. Oh, thank you. Trying to lay down plans for what I want to do for the future, which is essentially just getting back on track. So I've kind of alluded to in past videos that I've tried to get back on my schedule of doing 2 videos a week. Yes, it is Power Rangers. This is an old shirt that I've had for like 6-7 years. But yeah, I've tried to get back on schedule of doing 2 videos a week, but just for one reason or another, I just either don't have the motivation, or I didn't have the time, or just something came up. But and admittedly, the big reason why I didn't have the motivation is because I was just last year or so living at my old apartment, I was just pretty damn unhappy because I had to live there. Um, I don't. Well, I know that for a fact that some of my viewers are parents, so they surely should know, some of them, how difficult it is to have a child and live in a small space, which we were beforehand. Me and Meadow were living in a absolute like lunchbox of an apartment, and when Roman was up to about a year old, that became obsolete and incompatible. And it was really starting to drive me absolutely insane. Because Roman would have to sleep with me and Meadow in our bedroom, and because Roman's autistic, and also because he's a toddler, he has a very irregular sleep schedule, which would drive me absolutely insane. And there would be nights where, because his bed was literally right next to ours, and because me and Meadow are night owls, so we stay up till like 1 or maybe 2 in the morning a lot of the time. So we finally would put Roman down to bed, and then me and Meadow would go to bed, and then Roman would wake up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning after me and Meadow had gotten 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and he was, oh, Horror and Metal is here. Horror and Metal channel. Yo. Anyway, so yeah, Roman would wake us up after getting only X amount of sleep, and it would just drive me insane. And I wouldn't really care because I was that way too when I was a kid. Because I just wanted to watch movies and play. And that was all well and good, but the fact that Roman did that while he was sleeping in our bedroom, that was a problem. And that would just drive me absolutely wild. And I can't tell you how frustrating it. Well, I'm sure actually some people probably could relate to that. But I can't describe to you how frustrating it was trying to escape that goddamn apartment was. I had, let's see, I tried getting another place with a couple of roommates, but those just did not work out. I tried at one point, I think it was like twice. That's 2 times. Then I tried moving me and Meadow in with Roman in with my boss of all people. He's got a large ranch style 3-bedroom house that he was willing to rent out, or like rent out one of the rooms for me, Roman, and Meadow. But that also did not happen because he had to have some family come and move in with him. So that fell through. I tried moving into an apartment complex that my friend Nate was. Do you go to conventions to meet celebrities? No, I can't afford those. And also, conventions tend to be in very far away cities that I have no desire to visit. So no, I'm not a big fan of conventions. I also have no desire to ever go to G Fest. G Fest is wildly overly expensive. So no. Yeah, I tried moving in with I tried moving into the apartment complex that my friend Nate lives at, but that place was just way, 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 way too expensive. And then this was the one that almost broke me. I was literally this close this goddamn close to moving into an income-based apartment complex. The rent was like 13 something for a two-bedroom apartment, but I didn't really care what the price was. It seemed like it was a done deal. Like I had the manager wanted a whole bunch of information, like pay stubs and info on any kind of income that comes into my household, which wasn't much. So I got all that together. I signed a whole bunch of paperwork. I inspected the apartment, and it was almost a done deal. But the manager wanted way too much money just to move in, and I unfortunately had to turn them down, and that almost sent me to the hospital. I had an absolute fucking nervous breakdown. I was so unhappy. I was so miserable. I was in tears, like hysterically bawling my eyes out. Because it was literally that close, and then the carrot was yanked away from me at the last second. So I was like, yeah, I was. That was around that time too when I, as I mentioned at the ending of last year, I started kind of having some self-harming thoughts, which yeah, was not fun. Excuse me. So finally, I just said, fuck it. I talked to my managers at I live in the same complex that I lived in, living in my old one bedroom. Actually, I'm literally just right across the parking lot. Like I can look outside me and Meadow's bedroom window and look at our old unit. So we're it's a little surreal that way too, but I'm okay with it. I've lived here long enough. I'm familiar with the area. It at this point, yeah, it feels like home. So yeah, I talked to my leasing office and I asked them what the plan was, because the whole reason why we were being relocated was because my whole apartment complex was being torn down and renovated and remodeled heavily. Because the building that I live in right now, specifically, because we live kind of behind a steep hill, and I live in Washington, so there's a lot of rainfall, and they didn't have a proper way to drain all of that rain that would come down this hill. So under the building that I live in, it was a moldy, soupy, messy quagmire. So they had to go in, drain out all of that, all the water and mud, dig out a proper channel for drainage from rain, and then they just had to completely gut the building out, install some solar panels, and totally remodel it. Oh, hey, Jackie Boy is here. So that took about a little over a year, and so the building I'm in is completed. Don't get used to the phone format. I just have this because my laptop is still put away, and this isn't going to be a super long, in-depth video. But anyway, so yeah, we had to be relocated and moved across the street to a nicer apartment complex temporarily. So, and that was still a one-bedroom apartment, but it was a nicer unit, and it was a little bit more spacious, and it had some nice amenities that I still kind of do miss, namely the dishwasher. My unit here does not have a dishwasher, so I got to go back to washing dishes by hand, but that's okay. I'm used to it. But yes, finally. So I moved into my old apartment May 29th of 2020, and I was moved out January 22nd of 2025. And I moved in here specifically April 30th of 2025. So just under a month of 5 years waiting to get a 2-bedroom apartment, I finally got it. And man, was it a struggle. Unpacking, like, moving sucks. Unless it's into like a house of your choosing, or you have money to pay people to pack shit up, and which thankfully I did. I was relocated at no cost to me, which was very nice. But still, packing up everything and unpacking everything and setting up your new house, it's a bitch, straight up. It's a huge pain in the ass. Meadow is not a fan of moving. She's not a fan of change, which I really don't blame her. I'm not either. But now that I finally have my new home, there will be some changes to the channel. Well, not like super drastic or anything. My plans for the channel in the future are like I want to keep reviewing movies, obviously, and at some point soon, I do want to start breaking into reviewing more TV shows. Um, I want really badly, actually, to review more TV shows. But my big issue with reviewing TV shows is I know going through the plot synopses of every single episode of every season is tedious. And like that's actually the biggest reason that's kept me from reviewing Ultraman. Partially because Ultraman is a franchise I have a lot that I want to discuss. I just haven't fully figured out a format that I want to stick to reviewing Ultraman. But because each installment of Ultraman is at least 25 episodes long, that's a lot of content to cover the plot for. So I'm going to have to either write down my own plot synopsis for the show, or I'm going to have to find a plot synopsis that I can read off a screen that sums up the series well enough. Because I don't want to go like one example, Ultraman Cosmos, the longest Ultraman show of the entire franchise, is 65 freaking episodes. And I know I don't, like Horror Metal is here saying, I don't have to recap the synopses for all the episodes, but I feel like if I don't do that, viewers are going to be lost on what I'm talking about, especially regarding Ultraman or Kamen Rider. But I'm just going to have to get over it pretty much. So I'm working on something regarding TV shows. So, but yeah, I want to get back to trying at least to do 2 videos a week. And I want to like keep reviewing movies because I still have a desire to finish, hopefully, Super Kaiju Binge this year. I'm still stuck on all that Netflix animated stuff. I really don't want to watch that stuff. I don't want to rewatch I don't want to rewatch the Netflix Godzilla trilogy. And I really don't want to watch Godzilla Singular Point. And honestly, I don't want to watch Skull Island, the Netflix Skull Island show. Like I'm just that's nah. Especially since the second season of that show is being turned into a comic book series. That just kind of renders that show obsolete, in my opinion, because I was kind of suspecting that from the beginning. That show would have been better off as a comic. But that's neither here nor there. There is some good TV kaiju stuff that looks promising. But yeah, I do want to try to finish Super Kaiju Binge this year. And I want to get out more episodes of Super Cinema Rank because one thing that I was working on since like the beginning of this year, I kind of threw myself back into doing prep work for Super Cinema Rank. I kind of just redid the whole project from scratch, pretty much, and just threw myself into it, poured through all the various decades for film, wrote them all down, and even ranked like 95% of all the years I even have ranked out. I need to do some fine tuning to those, but yeah, that's pretty much almost done. And pretty much just kind of business as usual. Although my Super Cinema Rank episodes for current years are going to slow down quite a bit because where I'm living, it's more expensive. I'm paying $1,500 a month for this apartment. So how often I acquire movies and TV shows is going to slow down, which there's a big part of me that still really is very sad about that. Like I just paid rent and I'm flat broke again. So I'm very sad about that. Because as I've said before, I work hard for my money and I like to enjoy my money. And if I can't enjoy my money, I almost feel like I can't enjoy life because just working to pay bills, that's miserable. So once Meadow goes back to work, that will ease some of the burdens, which will be very nice. And I also do intend on getting a higher paying job, hopefully before this time next year, because I need to get a car. And that is the biggest obstacle that's keeping me from getting a better paying job. So I need to work on that right quick. Another reason that I didn't do a whole bunch of videos, like I tried as best I could when I was living at the temporary place. I'm proud of the videos I did there too. But it was my birthday recently. I've said this a few times on my channel, actually. April 16th was my birthday. I am 28 years old. Jesus, goddamn Christ. I was 23 when I had my resurgence. Which, by the way, that is another video that I have coming down the pipeline. I think around summertime, around July or so, I'm going to have a special video planned and released that month that will be an anniversary video because around July of this year will be the 10-year anniversary of me doing videos on YouTube. And, I'm going to say this in the video too, but it's not a huge monumental special occasion. I have not even 400 subscribers and I've been doing these videos for 10 years. But, for me, a lot has happened to me over these last 10 years. And hell, I graduated high school 10 years ago. Not to the month, but this year will be 10 years since I graduated high school. And a lot has happened to me in these 10 years. And I want to talk about a lot of stuff that's happened behind the scenes in my life. And I just want to go down a little memory train or a memory. What the hell is that term? Memory lane, excuse me. I want to go down memory lane and just talk about stuff that I've done on my channel, people I've met, videos I've done, various yada yada stuff like that. So that's really it for the channel update. I want to try to get back to doing business as usual stuff. I'd really want to try to finish Super Kaiju Binge. And I want to do that anniversary video. And at some point, I want to start doing Ultraman videos, especially since next year is the 60th anniversary of Ultraman. 1966 was when Ultraman, well, specifically the Ultra series itself debuted with Ultra Q, but Ultraman itself did debut at the tail end of 1966. So I feel like it would be a good momentous occasion to, start finally doing Super Ultra Binge, as I'm going to call that series, on the 60th anniversary of the franchise. So yeah, that's coming down the line. I just still have to fine tune what I want to do for that series for the format. But as I said, yeah, the Super Cinema Rank episodes for current years are gonna slow down, and I'm not gonna be doing. I mean, I don't do these birthday bash videos or like collection update videos very often, but I think they're gonna maybe I'm gonna have like 2 a year for a while, at least until I get a higher paying job. But that's okay. Like I said, I knew that there's a big part of me that's sad about it, but I knew that coming into this apartment that my fund spending was going to dramatically go down. But I was okay with that if it ensured that I would have a larger place to live, and Roman specifically could have his own bedroom. That was the biggest thing that was driving me insane. It's not the fact that I wanted more space. It's just the fact that I wanted Roman to have his own bedroom. But now that finally is a thing, and it's been really nice. But as I've alluded to, I also want to do a birthday bash collection update. I didn't get as much stuff as I did last year, but I did get a fair few things for my birthday this year. And I want to try to do something a little bit different. So, let's take you on a journey. Whoa. And I'm just going to show you. Okay, so pardon the lighting, because I don't know why apartments are made like this. There's never really like this right here, that's not a light bulb. That is a sprinkler in case there's a fire. Why is there never a light that's put in the middle of living rooms? Which this is my living room. This is now pretty much my domain. There's still some boxes that need to be unpacked, but yeah, this is my area. These are all my posters and all my wall art, and some spoilers for future videos. But yeah, I have some Godzilla X Kong figures. It looks better if you were to see it in person, because yeah, the lighting in here is. Oh, wait a minute! I can do this. Okay, that's a little better. I'll just turn on my dining room light. Let me move my chair back over here. So yeah. First thing I want to do, actually, so I realized that in my Cold Steel, no, not my Cold Steel video, but my Christmas update video that I did at the, I think it was my final video that I did in my old apartment, that there were some Cold Steel products that I had gotten that I forgot to showcase. So we're going to rectify that right now. I have now 4 more Cold Steel machetes to showcase. So we're going to start here. This is the Cold Steel Bowie machete. Although, if you ask me, quote unquote machete. I mean, I guess it technically is a machete because of how thin it is. But this is just a big knife to me, as far as I'm concerned. But this thing's cool. It's got a wicked. There we go. Wicked sharp point, and it has a sharpened swedge and a very, very nice sharp blade. I think this has a 13-inch blade. No, Jackie boy, no PC and camera setup. I can't afford a PC. Those are thousands of dollars that I do not have. Yeah, that's a good machete. Next up here, I have this is a big one. The Cold Steel 18-inch XL two-handed Latin machete. This is this is almost a short sword, or no, it is a short sword, but like it almost is like a medium length sword. It's got a really nice handle. It's pretty much an extended version of the grip on the Bowie machete, and yes, it does hold two hands very comfortably. It's smooth, but also very grippy at the same time. So if your hands get wet, this is still going to stay in place. That's okay. I'll put these over here. This next up is the longest machete that I own, the Cold Steel two-handed tie machete. This is the longest one I have. This holds, let's see, 1, 2, 3 hands. So you got plenty of purchase and plenty of options to grip this thing. And if you want to use this as like a martial weapon, it would make a nice pole arm, but you also got plenty of grip to smack somebody if you want to. I think this too has either an 18-inch or a 20-inch blade. There's one little nitpick that I have, and it's that right there. The tip is not even at all. Like how it's sharpened is not even. But, I mean, you're not really going to stab stuff with this thing. This is for chopping and slashing, which it does do very well. Now this one I am going to have to set the phone down real quick because this needs 2 hands to open. This is the Cold Steel two-handed chopper. It's the same grip design as the Latin machete, but obviously it's a much larger blade. Have not used this one yet, but obviously this is something that you don't really stab or anything like that. And you certainly don't do fine carving work with something like this. This is just to chop and hack, and man, does this thing have some heft to it. But yeah, this is one of my favorites. Surprisingly inexpensive too. Cold Steel's like knives and folding knives are really expensive. Well, quote unquote, really expensive, but their machetes are surprisingly inexpensive. The only one that I've seen that's like $60 is their tactical katana machete, but that's only like $65, which actually I don't really think is that bad. The only thing I don't love about the chopper is the sheath itself. Like I get why they made it the way that it is, but it's just not the most it's not the quickest way to deploy a machete of this size, but still. No folding knives, at least no new ones, but I do have one brand new Cold Steel fixed blade, which has become another one of my favorites. The Cold Steel Drop Forged Survivalist. This is part of their Drop Forge series. This knife, the whole thing, with the exception of these grippy pieces right here that are riveted in, this whole knife is one big piece of metal. Like they forged it into a mold, and the whole thing itself, like the blade, the hand guard, and the grip itself is one big piece of steel. And I think this was done to make these knives much more durable, which is really nice. It's got really nice hand guards, and these pieces here, they feel like a skateboard texture, so they're very grippy and very, very textured. So even if your hands get wet and this thing gets wet, this isn't going anywhere. This has an 8-inch, very sharp, very nice drop point blade. Yeah, this almost looks like a K-bar, which I've always wanted a K-bar. But yeah, I like this knife a lot. It's got a nice sheath that it goes into. Hold up. There it goes. Yeah, I like this one. Alrighty. So I have a couple things in here to showcase. Mostly I either got a couple knives or I got movies for my birthday this year. Oh no, I do have some stuff here. Okay, yeah. First things first is I have a new addition to my Ultraman collection. I have Ultraman Z, or Ultraman Z as it's called in Japan, but I prefer Ultraman Z. That just goes off or rolls off the tongue a lot easier. This came out in 2020, and this is I haven't finished it, but I've seen a lot of fight scenes and clips from this show. I got about 10 episodes into this, but then I just haven't gotten back to it because I'm waiting on another. There's one more birthday present that one of my friends ordered me, but that hasn't been delivered yet, but I wanted to do this video now. Yeah, this series I was very, very, very excited for. There's a lot of really good effects, really good monster action, and Ultraman Z himself is kind of one of my new favorite Ultras. And this series overall might become one of my new favorites. So yeah, Ultraman Z. This is a really, really fun series. I got quite a bit of tokusatsu because now I have my first ever Metal Heroes installment. Metal Heroes is another tokusatsu franchise that was created by Toei, the same people that did Super Sentai. And actually, Metal Heroes was the franchise that kind of filled the void when Kamen Rider went off the air. Like specifically when Kamen Rider Super 1 ended, aside from Birth of the 10th, Kamen Rider ZX, there wasn't really any Kamen Rider for a lot of the 80s up until Kamen Rider Black and Black RX. So the Metal Heroes franchise started in 1982 with Space Sheriff Gavan, and then it had Space Sheriff Sherivan, and then Space Sheriff Shader, and there was a couple other Metal Heroes shows that were very Space Sheriff-esque. But this series here, which came out in 1990, this is when the first really different installment of the Metal Heroes franchise. These are Special Rescue Police Windspector. These are heroes that are more rescue focused, like firefighters and natural disasters and crime fighters and so on and so forth. But yeah, I've heard the theme song to this show, and I've seen a couple reviews and a few clips from this series. This looks like a really fun series. This guy here is a guy in an armored suit, and these two the yellow and green guys are robots. But yeah, these are these are more rescue focused heroes. But yeah, the series looks really fun. It's an expensive series too. And a new addition to the Kamen Rider collection, the Kamen Rider Trilogy, the standard edition from Media Blasters. This set was announced to be released back in 2021. And it finally fucking came out. Well, still had to wait because this was first. Then it was released with a deluxe edition on the Media Blasters website exclusively, which included a whole bunch of extras. But this standard edition does not have any of those extras. And that deluxe edition, it went out of stock like in just a couple weeks on the Media Blasters website, and it was never released on like Amazon or Walmart.com. But after 6 months, this set was then released. But then I missed out on buying it because when it was released, it went out of stock pretty quickly. And then they refilled it, and then I purchased it, and then the delivery date was delayed. But then I finally got my hands on it. So after 4.5 goddamn years, this set is finally available and is in my collection. But this includes the 3 90s Kamen Rider movies. Well, movies. Shin Kamen Rider right here, or Shin Kamen Rider Prologue, as it's called here. Fiddle focus. Come on, you bastard. It's not cooperating. But yeah, Shin Kamen Rider, this one right here. It's an hour and a half long movie that's kind of like a 90s dark, violent, gritty retelling of the original idea for Kamen Rider, which is essentially like Japanese David Cronenberg's The Fly mixed with The Incredible Hulk. Never seen it in full, but I've seen quite a few scenes from it, and it looks interesting. This middle guy here is Kamen Rider Z-O or Zeto. Again, kind of the same concept of taking the original concept for Kamen Rider and just making it more dark and violent, although Z-O is not as violent as Shin. And it's also only 48 minutes long. And then this one right here, Kamen Rider J, who looks very similar to Kamen Rider Z-O, obviously, is my favorite of the three, but that film also is only 47 minutes long. But a lot of people do consider these three to be still part of the Heisei series from Kamen Rider, the original Kamen Rider up to Kamen Rider Black RX. And then these three are kind of thrown in because they're all very heavily insect themed, just like the Showa era of Kamen Rider, and it doesn't match up tonally or style-wise with Kamen Rider Kuga, the first of the Heisei series, which came out, I think, only... it doesn't say. I think Kamen Rider J came out in 1996 or maybe 1997. I can't quite remember. But yeah, Kamen Rider Kuga didn't come out until either 1999 or 2000. But yeah, that's the main reason why those three are rolled up with the Heisei series or the Showa series. Get me a drink. No new comics, although Meadow was gracious enough to let me have this shelf that she used to own, but now she let me have it because she agrees that it kind of makes this wall look complete. All my movies are on these two shelves, but my two TV show books and my extra movie book is right there. But let's see. I have some new movies here. Let's see. I think that's it for this top shelf. First thing we have here is Heart Eyes, a new Valentine's Day themed slasher movie. This is now the third one, or fourth one, I guess, because there's My Bloody Valentine 2009, Valentine from 2001, I think, and now there's this. Never seen Valentine, though, but I wouldn't mind checking it out. I've heard good things about it. And I heard good things about this movie, too. My friend Charlene recommends this to me. Apparently it's got some good kills and some good gore. So, yeah, I'm stoked. Me and Metal are going to watch that tonight. Up next, we have Transformers 1, which came out last year. I have seen this. I really liked it. I thought it was a pretty entertaining and solid Transformers movie. It's just a shame that it flopped as hard as it did. Real big shame, actually. I got the Criterion release of Night of the Living Dead. I also got this as a birthday present for my stepdad because his birthday is 2 days before mine. This has a lot of really nice special features on it that I want to sit down and watch sometime soon. There's a new 4K digital restoration supervised by George A. Romero and John Russo. There's a new restoration of the soundtrack. Night of Anubis, a never-before-presented work print edit of the film. A new program featuring filmmakers Frank Darabont and Guillermo del Toro and Robert Rodriguez. So that should be cool. A new program featuring John Russo and the Commercial and Industrial Film Production Company, where Night of the Living Dead filmmakers got their start. 2 audio commentaries from 1994 featuring George Romero, John Russo, Carl Hardman, Judith O'Dea, and others. Archival interviews with Romero and actors Dwayne Jones and Judith Ridley, and a whole bunch of other stuff that sounds really cool. This has 3 discs, presumably. The first one, which I checked out, which is behind this nice poster here. This is the movie. And then these 2 here are probably for all those special features. I'm going to have to crack into those sometime pretty soon. Put that there. A movie that I bought totally on a whim just because James Rolfe made it sound really entertaining. A Lumberjack Man from 2015. A very, not really generic, but it's kind of a low budget slasher movie that is, it's a campground slasher movie. So it's kind of obviously like homaging Friday the 13th. It gave me a lot of, damn it. What was that movie that came out last year? Oh, crap. I got to go over here. Oh, In a Violent Nature. It gave me a lot of In a Violent Nature and some Hatchet vibes. This movie was more entertaining than In a Violent Nature, and in some ways Hatchet, although it's not nearly as over the top as Hatchet. But actually, if you like campground slasher movies that are obviously parodying Friday the 13th, Lumberjack Man might be one to check out. The final 2024 movie that I want to see, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I've heard really good things about this movie. Haven't seen it yet. Actually, haven't even opened it. But yeah, I've heard really good things. It looks really entertaining. I've seen a couple scenes from it. Keanu Reeves looks like he does a really good job as Shadow. And I have seen the dance laser room scene with Jim Carrey and that was pretty entertaining. And yes, I got The Last of Us 2 out again. I have been watching the second season of the show. I might do a review on the show. Finally, the last one in this big shelf here, which, by the way, these are really nice shelves, obviously. These are given me by my mom, so thank you very much. Totally ran because I realized I don't own these movies, and I also haven't seen them in like close to 15 years. So I feel like I should rectify that. But I have the Back to the Future trilogy on DVD, and this is the new sets that are released at Walmart, and they got glow in the dark art, which does it work? No, it doesn't, or kind of. It's not exposed. Hold on, I got plenty of flashlights here. Oh yeah, that works. Hella works. So that's cool. But yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch these pretty soon because again, I haven't seen almost 2 decades. Ooh yeah, that looks cool. And whole trilogy for only $15. So that's a good steal. 3 movies, $5 a piece. All right, hold on. Let me. Oop, did I stop it? Okay, no, never mind. Put all these away. Hold on. There it is. God damn. Now let's go over to this shelf here. I have this. This is another new addition to my Ultraman collection, the Ultra Galaxy Fight collection. These are all web series that are compilations of mini episodes on the official Ultraman YouTube channel. Like, let me get some better light. Or actually, hold on. Let me do this. Okay, that should be better. Ultra Galaxy Fight, New Generation Heroes. This one right here is comprised of 13 mini episodes, and the entire special edited together is like 55 minutes long, barely. And then there was Ultra Galaxy Fight, The Absolute Conspiracy, which I never finished, but it looked like it had some cool action. Then there was the third one, The Destined Crossroad, which I never saw any of, though again, it looked like it had some really cool action. And then these 2 spin-offs right here, Ultraman Regulos and Ultraman Regulos First Mission, they were spin-offs of the Destined Crossroad because Ultraman Regulos himself, right there in the middle, debuted in the Destined Crossroad. So Tsuburaya decided to like create a whole spin-off series like showcasing his origin, and that was a mini series in and of itself. So the Ultra Galaxy Fight specials, they're kind of like let's see, where is it? Oh, so when Ultraman Ginga S wrapped up, there was a special called Ultra Fight Victory, which was a little spinoff taking place after Ginga S, which is the same thing. It's a bunch of these. I think in this case, it was 8 mini episodes that were like 3 or 4 minutes a piece that were released on the Ultraman YouTube channel. And Ultra Fight Victory itself, edited together into one special, is like 48 minutes long. This was started way back in the early 70s after Ultra 7 had come out, like way back in the day. And before the Return of Ultraman had come out, there was a mini series called Ultra Fight, which was a really low budget mini series where each episode was like 2 or 3 minutes long. but there was like a couple hundred of those episodes. Yeah, they were super low budget, and it showcased Ultra 7 fighting human-sized monsters in these really low quality, really poorly choreographed, crappy fights. But then they took that concept and they just readapted it for modern day. So the first one after that, there was Ultraman Zero had his own, or that's not the right one. Ultraman Zero had his own special Ultra Zero fight, which I think was. I actually have, I still to this day have not watched Ultraman Zero: The Chronicle, but I think, because like I said back then, I think this does include edited together versions of Ultra Zero Fight, and those themselves were edited into episodes of a New Generation era style Ultraman Zero series. I think I'm gonna have to actually crack this open and see if that's true. But then, yeah, after that, Ultraman Zero had one, and then Ultra Fight Victory came out, and then there was Ultra Fight Orb, which was the last one up until the Ultra Galaxy Fight specials. I have seen the New Generation Heroes special in full. It's a really action-packed and entertaining series. The Absolute Conspiracy, I got halfway through before I moved on to something else, but there was some really cool action in it. Haven't seen the Destined Crossroad, and I haven't seen either of the Regulo specials. I think I'll just sit in my chair. Let's see. Oh, I got plenty of new stuff here. Yeah, I did talk about that. First movie of 2025 that I got my hands on is Wolfman. Not very excited about checking this out. I got this, and then right afterwards, I stumbled across a couple reviews of this, and they both said pretty much the same thing. And I'm not as enthusiastic about checking this out, but I'll still give it a watch. I still am much more enthusiastic about 2025 than I am about 2024. Next up here is The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Was not a fan of this movie. I was very disappointed. It's got a good cast. Like right here, you see Henry Cavill and Alan Ritchson. But these two actors are sorely underused, and it's such a shame. Yeah, was not a fan. I'm gonna do an episode of Super Cinema Rank after I watch this, or no, after I watch Sonic 3. And so I want to save my opinions on 2024 movies that I've seen. Let's see, what did I get next? Did I get Dreamcatcher? No. Oh, I got that for Christmas. Let's see. I did see Bad Boys Ride or Die. I thought it was pretty entertaining. One of the better films of 2024. Here's a movie from 2020. Don't judge me. I saw the trailer for this, and I was intrigued. But Anyone But You. This is a birthday present I got. With here they are. Sydney Sweeney and Glenn Powell. At the tail end of 2023, I think this movie came out, but I have watched it, and I liked it, actually. It was really funny. Had some good jokes, had some good cringy moments, in a funny way. Hold on. Okay. Next up, we have the standard Arrow release of Tremors. Now, it is not the gorgeous release that Trevor Boy got all those years ago. Yeah, this is just a standard Blu-ray release, but still, it looks cool. It has all. Oh my God! Look at this whole section here. Is all of its special features. God damn. Thankfully, it does have that making of documentary that I really, really enjoyed. Yeah, this is a really nice release. Yeah, it just has that one disc. And I couldn't resist, so I got my hands on the Arrow release of Tremors 2. And this one also had not quite as much special features, but it seems like it still has quite a bit. Yeah, I'm going to have to give this one a watch pretty soon, too. Bitchin' artwork. I like this one more than the artwork for the first Tremors set. Only a couple more things here. We have Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. Wasn't a big fan. Now I have firmly decided and figured out. Yeah, Robert Eggers movies are just not for me, which got me into quite a bit of shit when I was a part of a Blu-ray DVD collecting group on Facebook, which I left because they were all a bunch of assholes. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. Actually, it wasn't bad. I did not see the first movie, but I heard things about this from Shawnee Boy of all people, so I just decided, fuck it. This came out in 2024. I'll give it a look. And yeah, it wasn't. Excuse me. It wasn't bad. Will I review it? Nah. And the final thing that I got for myself for my birthday is just randomly, because I saw it for just $10, Jaws on Blu-ray. Yep, the 50th anniversary of this movie is coming up pretty quick. So I figured, you know what? Why not? I haven't seen this movie in quite a few years. So let me get a good edition of it to check out. Yeah. So that's it. That is my birthday bash, and that is my channel update. Thank you all so much for being so patient and putting up with my madness and bullshit. Oh yeah, my Terminator poster. It's one of my favorites that I have, actually. Yeah, look forward to new videos coming out relatively soon. Once I go back to work, that's going to kind of kick my ass because I took 10 days off to move. And yeah, I'm going to be pretty tired. But hopefully very, very soon, I will be able to, Cold Steel training knife that makes a nice little fidget toy. I will be able to jump back into the groove of things. So new content is coming very soon on a more regular basis. I'm going to try my very best to do that. And yeah, things are finally looking up for Mr. Nick Jackson, finally, which makes me very happy. I have no problem paying more for rent if it means I have a larger place to live and a better place to live. Sometimes you just need to change your priorities around. But that'll do it for this video. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Share this video with your friends. And as always, go out and enjoy movies, enjoy your home, and above all else, enjoy your life. And I will see you guys in the next video.